What is up? I'm Aslan Hajavandi, Director of Digital Media for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. That over there, that's Michael Langston, recruiting analyst for Warchant.com. He lords over the premium recruiting board at all hours of all days, of all weeks, of all months. Go to the message board for all the latest that comes with Florida State recruiting, courtesy of our own Michael Langston. Hit the subscribe button in the lower right corner. And what else, Michael? There's something else.
Yep, hit the like button for us, guys. That always helps us promote things, especially big news like this. And so just keep hitting the like button for us. We want to promote these things, give you guys more stuff for football, team, recruiting, just pretty much everything.
That's right. So Florida State losing a lot of production on their front four with the loss of Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson. They're hoping for a different verse, same chorus, though. They want production. And they went to the portal, Michael, and they got themselves a dude that had offers from all the big boys, man. What do we know?
Yeah, Albany defensive end Jared Verse finally made his decision. We've been waiting for this for like 6 days. I call him the Golden Goose because he's the guy that they've worked the hardest on for in this class in the portal. Everyone in the nation wants him, as you explained. I think this kid's a natural pass rusher. Certainly going to give a lot of production as far as his speed, the way he gets off the angles. He's really good. Like I said, everyone in the country's wanted him. We'll look at the PFF grades in a little bit, but phenomenal pickup. You know, I think I think the fact that they were able to pull him against some of the national teams that are already established kind of tells you a lot about the job that FSU did recruiting him, both with Coach JP, Norvell, the whole staff in general. Uh, I think a big part of it too is that meeting he had with Jermaine Johnson, and he's talked with Keir Thomas, and I think those guys personally interacted with him where he didn't get that anywhere else at any other school, and there was a personal connection. And he saw the way those guys were treated, and also the way outside of football these players were taken care of as far as from a culture standpoint. And I think that was a big deal to Jared, who took his time making sure he called all the coaches and told the different staffs. And I think he just fits everything that you want in that culture. And I think he saw what Jermaine did both on the field and just the way Jermaine felt about FSU, even when he left. I think that had a big impact. But this is a astronomical pickup for FSU when you look at defensive end and needing to replace the guy that one of the best defensive ends they've had in quite some time with Jermaine, and then also can't forget about Keir Thomas. So to add to replace that guy, I mean, he's not going to be exactly Jermaine Johnson. They're kind of different in what they do, but I think off the edge, I mean, he is going to be a terror. So just to have somebody like that in your program, and it's a big recruiting momentum when it goes into the rest of this 2022 class, whether you add some more high school kids or not. I think it's a major deal to show you where this program is going, and what recruits that have already played football, that have been like Jared versus played it for a while. It tells you a lot about what they think about where this program is going and how much they believe in Mike Norvell.
Yeah, man. So his grades are there on your screen, as you folks can see. 60 is kind of you just show up and they'll give you a 60 on PFF. He's got an 83. That's a very great defensive grade.
Yeah.
Did very well against top competition too. North Dakota State, which is just an FCS power. I mean, shoot, they're probably better than half the teams in the ACC. Let's be honest. He had 8 tackles, 1 TFL. He had a sack and a forced fumble. Really good production. Had 4 total tackles against Syracuse. This kid gets it done, man. So this is a huge piece of the puzzle. Had offers from Texas, I think, Michael, Florida, LSU.
Yeah.
6'4", 247. So I know you said he's not quite Jermaine, but we're expecting him to disrupt the pocket and pressure the quarterback ultimately, right?
Yeah, I've seen this guy in person when he visited. 6'4", probably 255. I would say he's that big now. I mean, he's a massive kid when you look at him in person, and I think he's going to be a terror for the pass rush. I think even more so, like Jermaine got the pressure just because his technique and quickness and power, mainly power with Jermaine. I think this kid's more quicker and faster, but he's got a lot of size to him, a lot more than he used to be. So he's added a lot of that, and certainly he doesn't come from the pedigree of where Jermaine played in the SEC, but You see him when he plays against teams. It doesn't matter. I mean, he produces. I mean, he has big numbers, and I think it's a massive pickup and a massive boost for their pass rush. I think they've already done really good. We talked about Tatum Bethune that getting that early in the week at linebacker. That was a major pickup. This is even higher. So I think they're getting elite guys. You know, even guys like Greedy Vance, that defensive back, the best corner on Louisville's team, a guy that's certainly going to help them. So I think they're adding guys that are not just good players, but they're also guys that are going to impact your roster. And that's what FSU is looking for, is guys that can impact in certain positions. And certainly there's no bigger position, or there's not too many, than that defensive end position for FSU, and certainly the pass rush. So I think Jared Verse is going to bring a lot of elite talent to that position.
And I mean, I guess he could be one and done, but I mean, he'd have to have a hell of a season, and no one would complain if he'd be a one and done. But this is a guy that they'll be able to kind of build around here for a few years, right, Mike?
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of what you want. That's kind of why they were so excited about Jermaine Johnson when they got him, because they knew, man, we really love this kid. We really think this kid fits, and they knew Jermaine was going to bring other guys like Jared Verse to your program. So the results every year when you're successful, and there's positive results, is going to manufacture in the guys that you recruit in high school, the guys you recruit in certainly the transfer portal. So it has a dramatic effect on continuing what the future is as far as how you do in the portal. Because let's face it, kids want to see guys that do well that are transferring. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, it's not, they want to make sure they're taken care of, but at the same time, they want to see some success of what they're doing inside that program, and that entices them to be intrigued by that program. So certainly at the defensive end position, FSU is knocking out of the park the last few years as far as the talent that they're getting in there.
Michael, so the portal is always going to be open, but in terms of like a timeline right here, this was crucial for Florida State to get Verse when they did, because he can enroll and then participate in spring. So are we going to hit a lull here in a little bit in terms of at least guys that can get in the portal, that can show up and participate in spring, or is the window still open for that possibility?
I mean, I think it's still January 10th.
Okay.
So they have a little time. I think this was the last one that we were kind of waiting on the decision, but I think some of them will be later. Obviously, it's good for us in the media that cover this, that it's a majority of it is they're getting majority of the guys. There's still a few left. I think they would like to get a running back. I think they would possibly like to get the right quarterback. I know people have problems with that because they just want to take the best. Give me Caleb Williams, like right now, but it has to be the right fit to what their situation is, as Austin's fumbling the ball all over the place.
Like a water bottle.
But I think they'd also like to add another offensive tackle, and I think they're still debating whether they take another defensive end for the portal, or they take somebody that I'm really high on from Bowles High School and Jack Pyburn that they're possibly contemplating offering. I think that's a guy that's a possibility, a way they can go. But getting Verse, it feels like now you're at the top of the hill and you're on your bicycle and you're going down the hill. So it's finally, it feels like it's going downhill somewhat for FSU. You can see the end of the tunnel. I still think there's prospects they need to add, like I mentioned, offensive tackle, running back, possibly a quarterback, and then maybe, excuse me, a defensive end or a linebacker.
All right. Well, that's the latest on Florida State recruiting, courtesy of our own Michael Langston. Go over to the warchant.com premium recruiting board for the absolute latest. If you're not a member, what are you waiting for? Use the promo code WARCHANT30. That's a wrap for us, but the portal stays open. So does Michael's availability on getting all this stuff done. Michael, thank you for your time and knowledge, man.
You got it, man. And, not saying it's going to happen, guys, but the one thing I'm still monitoring tomorrow is, if for people that don't know, is the U.S. All-American Bowl game. Obviously, Julian Armella's in that game. I think Jalen Early's in that game. Then there's another one, and I've kind of written it off before, but his wide receiver Kevin Coleman is announcing his college choice. I originally thought for sure it was going to be Miami. I'm not 100% sure on that now. I think he's still contemplating on that decision. So I'm not telling people to go watch it, but I'm saying that's one thing I'm monitoring just to see if there's some shift. I still wouldn't change my Miami pick, but I think that's one that is at least worth monitoring. Right now, I think FSU. He's contacted FSU. He's still talking to them pretty regularly. probably even a little more heavier than he was probably a couple weeks ago. So I think that's one that I'm still going to keep an eye on, but I just want to bring that to the attention of people.
Yeah, there's an update on the website with Kevin. A lot of good stuff he's got to say about Florida State. So check that out. For Michael, I'm Aslan. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Warchant TV.